In this session, we are going to start with a new topic, that is photosynthesis, and we will briefly discuss about photosynthesis and the structure of chloroplast. So let us start. So photosynthesis, as we all know, is a process by which the green plants prepare their own food. They utilize sunlight, carbon dioxide, and produce organic compounds, which are basically sugar, and oxygen is a byproduct of photosynthesis, right? And since these green plants prepare their own food, they are also called as autotrophs, and most of the heterotrophs depend on plants for their food. And basically what happens in photosynthesis is that the green parts of the plant, basically the leaves, they capture the sunlight and they utilize that energy to convert into a organic compound, which is basically a sugar, and that sugar is then used and stored inside the plant body as carbohydrates. Alright, so most of the green plants are autotrophic. They carry out photosynthesis to prepare their own food, and you must have also observed that the plants are usually green which carry out photosynthesis, right? And these green plants, the structure that are majorly responsible for carrying out photosynthesis are the leaves. But some other parts of the plant which are usually green in color can also participate in photosynthesis. Now, inside the leaf, if you remember, in the previous lecture we studied about the anatomy of a dicot and monocot leaf. There we saw that inside the leaves there are special tissues called mesophyll tissues or mesophyll cells. They contain chloroplast. These mesophyll cells are green in color and chloroplast are present in them, and it is these mesophyll cells, with the help of chloroplast, they help the leaves to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Alright, now these chloroplasts are arranged in a special manner inside the mesophyll cells so that they can absorb the optimum amount of incident light. So if you remember, we studied about the mesophyll cell. So suppose if this is a mesophyll cell, alright, so the arrangement of chloroplast will depend on what is the intensity of the incident light. So if the incident light is of low intensity, whenever there is a condition of low light, then these chloroplasts will align parallel to the cell wall of the mesophyll cell in order to absorb the highest amount of sunlight. Now if the light intensity is very high, then in order to avoid photooxidation or photo damage, these chloroplasts, they align themselves perpendicular to the walls of the mesophyll cell. So the movement of chloroplast depends on what is the intensity of light, and accordingly they adjust themselves so that optimum amount of incident light can be absorbed to carry out photosynthesis. Alright, so let us now move on to understand the structure of a chloroplast. If we draw the structure of a chloroplast, then chloroplast is a double membraned organelle it will have two membranes. So this is the outer membrane and this is the inner membrane. The cytoplasm of the chloroplast is called stroma or matrix stroma. Alright, so this is stroma. Now inside the stroma we will find coin-like structures stacked upon each other like this. These coin-like structures, it looks like the coins are stacked upon each other, and this structure is called a grana. A single unit is called a single structure is called granum, plural is grana. So this stack of coin-like structures forms a granum, and the single unit or a single coin of this stack is called a thylakoid. If we talk about just this coin or just this structure, a single structure that is the single unit of the granum is called a thylakoid. So a group of thylakoid forms a granum. Alright, thylakoid is the single unit, and if we keep on stacking thylakoids one upon the other, then we will form a granum. So a large number of grana will be found inside the stroma. They are distributed throughout the stroma inside the chloroplast like this. And these grana are connected to each other through stromal lamellae. The structures that connect two grana or all of the grana inside the chloroplast, these are called stromal lamellae. So these are the stromal lamellae. Alright, so these three special structures inside the chloroplast are responsible for carrying out the photosynthesis. The special three structures are the granum, the stromal lamellae, and the stroma. Together they constitute the membranous system of the chloroplast. Alright, so the membranous system of the chloroplast is made up of stroma, which is the cytoplasm of the chloroplast. Then inside the stroma we have granum, and the granum are connected to each other through the stromal lamellae. So the stroma, grana, and the stromal lamellae together constitute the membranous system of the chloroplast, and they are responsible for carrying out photosynthesis. Now besides these structures we will find some ribosomes, sorry, let me write it again. We will find some ribosomes, then there will be some starch granules because the excess molecules of sugar will be stored as starch. So starch granules will be there, and some lipid droplets. So this is the structure of a chloroplast. Now if we talk about photosynthesis, then photosynthesis is actually a two-step process. The first step is the light reaction, Light reaction, as the name suggests, it occurs in the presence of light, presence of sunlight. And the other step is the dark reaction. Now, it is named dark reaction, but it does not occur in dark. It is light independent reaction. It does not require sunlight to occur, but it depends on the products of the light reaction. Alright, that is why it is called dark reaction. Now the light reaction occurs in the grana of the chloroplast, and the dark reaction occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. So here when we studied about the grana, so the light reactions will be occurring inside these structures, and they will be light dependent, hence they are called light reaction. In the light reaction, the products are ATP and NADPH. They are high energy compounds, and they will be utilized in the dark reaction for the production of sugar or carbohydrate. Alright, so the light reaction will occur in the grana. There is another name for light reaction, which is photochemical reaction. Similarly, dark reaction has another name. It is also called as carbon reaction, because carbohydrates are produced in dark reaction, basically the sugar. That is why it is also called as carbon reaction. And carbon reaction will occur in stroma. In stroma, various types of enzymes are present which helps in the reduction of carbon. They carry out reduction reactions, and they kind of fix the atmospheric carbon dioxide to form carbohydrates. Alright, so I hope I have covered all the important terms and definitions. There's one more thing for you to remember, that the products of light reaction are ATP and NADPH, and the product of dark reaction is carbohydrate formation, or you can say sugar formation, sugar synthesis, or sucrose synthesis. The carbohydrates which is produced is stored in the form of starch, right? And they are transported inside the plant body in the form of sucrose. So photosynthesis, I hope it is clear to you that photosynthesis occur in the green parts of the plant, majorly in the leaves. Now where in the leaves? We know that the leaves have special tissue called mesophyll cells. Inside the mesophyll cells, organelles called chloroplast are present, which trap the sunlight and utilize that energy to produce carbohydrates. Now these chloroplasts can arrange themselves according to the intensity of the incident light in order to have maximum absorbance of light. Now if we look at the structure of the chloroplast, then the chloroplast has a special membranous system inside it consisting of grana, stromal lamellae, and stroma. Alright, and these structures are mainly responsible to carry out photosynthesis or fixation of carbon. And photosynthesis is actually a two-step process. First step is the light reaction or the photochemical reaction, which only occurs in the presence of light, where the energy of the light, incident light, is trapped inside the grana and is utilized in the formation of ATP and NADPH. Then the second reaction occurs, which is called dark reaction. It has nothing to do with the dark. Alright, so it actually does not require light. It is not light driven, but it is dependent on the products of light reaction, that is ADP and NADPH. With the help of ADP and NADPH, inside the stroma, the dark reaction will produce carbohydrate or sugar. Alright, so this concludes the lecture for this topic. That's all for this session. Thank you so much.